Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ladies and gentlemen, developing right attitude towards academic excellence, experience the joy of learning during post-pandemic. The post-pandemic 19 pandemic is a stress test for education system all over the world, but it's also an opportunity to share lessons globally. Many countries, including Malaysia, have responded in innovative way, whether by rapidly mobilizing existing digital resources or by developing these resources from scratch. The topic of joy and education is not new, yet circling back to it post-pandemic seems more critical now than ever. As our students return to full in-person learning or face-to-face, lecturers have charged themselves to begin to reimagine more equitable or joyful experience for our students. Joyful learning does not imply a lack of challenge or lack of instructional focus. It means reimagining experiences that can invite our students to love learning and to love their university. These experiences can be very meaningful, relevant, and empowering. Teaching and learning are synonymous. Okay, for most lecturers, watching our students experience joy in the learning process is the biggest reward we could ask for. Thus, how do we lecturers find joy in teaching? We find joy when our students find joy. The act of engaging in meaningful work and having visible evidence of the difference we make in their life of our students is what inspires us. So ladies and gentlemen, for today's talk, when you remember joy, remember glad, gratifying, love, authentic, dynamic, and engaging. Alright, so those are the information for today's talk. The session will begin momentarily. Thank you so much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Well, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? Our session will start. Please have a nice seat ready with your camera on and please mute yourself. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me first to read the agenda for today. The first agenda is a sharing session from our speaker. Later, we shall have a break, actually a coffee break at your own at 9:50 a.m. And at the same time is to avoid the WebEx fatigue. Alright. So ladies and gentlemen, I am Muliati Sedek, your moderator for today. First of all, I would like to greet Yang Berbahagia Profesor T.S. Dr. Masila Kamarudin, Vice Chancellor Universiti Teknikal Malaysia Melaka. Secondly, I would like to greet Professor Dr. Zulkifli Ibrahim, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic and International. And of course, our distinguished speaker for today, Professor Dr. Mira Kartiwi. Allow me to introduce our speaker for today. Here is Professor Dr. Mira Kartiwi. She is the Director, Center for Professional Development from International Islamic University, Malaysia. For your information, Center for Professional Development or CPD is UTeM academic service unit that promotes and supports teaching and learning excellence in direct support of the university's mission and vision. It is also to assist the academic community in designing the teaching that would best facilitate students' learning. Here in CPD, it provides professional development program and workshop series in line with the 21st century teaching and learning paradigm. On behalf of University Technical Malaysia Melaka and Centre for Academic Excellence, we are honoured to have Professor Mira Kartiwi to share her fruits of intellectual labour. Thank you so much, Prof, for being with us today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Prof. How are you today, Prof?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. I'm good, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I'm
Yeah,
good. Thank you so
yeah,
much for inviting
Alhamdulillah.
me.
Thank you so much. We are very honored to have you today, Prof. All right, Prof. So without further ado, I would like to call upon Professor Dr. Mira Kartiwi to share the session for today. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome together Prof. Mira Kartiwi from IIUM.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Muliati and honorable professors, doctors, um, top management of UTeM, as well as from the Center of Pusat Kecemerlangan Kesajanaan dan Kesejanaan Akademik. I'm truly grateful, especially Dr. Muliati have actually informed me about these sessions months ago. So amazing that she really prepared for this session. I'm really honored and I'm truly grateful for the invitations. Um, but on the same time, I would like to apologize because I'm still recovering at the moment. So I really hope that throughout my presentations, if I have to stop for a while, I hope you don't mind because sometimes the cough really bad. So I really hope we won't interrupt. But anyway, if there's any sessions that I need to take sometimes off, I hope you don't mind. And I truly apologize for that. So again, I would like to greet everyone. Thank you so much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'inu ala umuri dunya wa din wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. And alhamdulillah again, thank you so much. Rabbi sabri sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. The topic that Dr. Muliati shared with me that was requested to actually share today is a very how do I put it? It's very exciting on the same time. It's really makes me nervous because it's something that I'm passionate about. On the same time, I'm worried that I will not be able to fully portray the joy of learning because sometimes when it comes to tacit, you really hope that you can actually describe everything, but you know that there are limitations in how we communicate, sometimes perception, sometimes the speed, sometimes the experience often kind of becomes be that sort of degrade or even miss certain things that I could actually portray if I meet everyone in person. Probably you can feel the energy, the actual energy that I really want to convey using the points that I'm about to share. So I really hope that what transmitted or what being conveyed today really at least 90% really gives the vibes that I'm trying to share with all of you. But if not, then I'm looking forward for any sessions in the future that we can have face to face, or anyone if you would like to come to IUM and we could have discussions over coffee. I would be more than happy to have you and to host you in IUM. Okay, so looking forward. But anyway, let's try with whatever we can do today with the limitations of online. But alhamdulillah, I think the blessing of online is that now I can have a lot of opportunities to meet all of the educators from around the world, and it's one of the blessings that I really grateful for the experience that we have in the past 2 years. Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Is just want to confirm again, is my audio okay, Doctor? I think. Yep. Okay. Alhamdulillah. So if somehow my audio is not clear, please feel free to unmute and then just remind me, because when I'm moving around, I'm standing now because I really need, as I said, when I feel joyful, I really have to stand up and let the energy out. But sometimes when I'm moving away from the mic, it might distort the audio. So feel free to unmute and remind me to come to the front again. Okay, just closer to the mic again. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So this is the topic that was actually asked by Dr. Muliati to share with everyone today, which is on developing right attitude towards academic excellence, experience the joy of learning. When I look at the title, I took quite some time to actually come up with the slides because usually every talk I want to make sure that it comes from the heart, and I really want to make sure that whatever I share with you today is not so much a prescriptions, but something that we can sort of ponder upon, and then perhaps we can sort of reflect together, which I'm very sure that will be a lot more meaningful as compared to giving you step by step on how to do things, which probably that's not the right thing or not the relevant thing for you because you're probably at different stage or different spectrum of the career that you experience different things. So I don't think that would be the wise approach to these sessions. So what I would do instead, I would again bring the sessions to how we look at ourselves, and I'm using myself in the Zoom, so I don't offend everyone. I don't offend anyone because I don't put anyone in the spot. I put myself in the spot. I put myself in the journey where I'm trying to figure out how we can actually develop this academic excellence together. Okay, so I really hope that would be a much fairer and much better approach to delivering this, because one of the keywords that I'm kind of a bit careful here, there's the word right attitude. Okay, because people have different perceptions on attitude, and now we're going to put a category that it has to be the right attitude. So let's have a look from the perspective that we actually trying to come up with our perspective we try to come up with the right perspective rather than attitude per se, but the right perspective on how to build productive and constructive attitude in the teaching and learning, especially in developing and in building an environment so that all of us, both students as well as the students as well as the lecturers, sorry, experience the joy of learning. All right. So I think the first thing that I would like to ask before you ask me the questions during Q&A, what I would like to ask is, why do you teach? Okay, you don't have to answer, but if you can sort of ponder upon why do we teach? Why do I? And this is like a daily thing that I do. Why do I teach? And me minus teaching would be what? So this is the thing that I ask myself every day, because I really need. I'm the kind of person that when I do things, I have to know the meanings of what I'm doing. So I need to know the reason why I do things, because that will give me the energy to actually move from 2 steps to 5 steps to 10 steps and so on and so forth. So this is the very same thing that my children also ask sometimes. Umi, why do you teach? Why do you, if you grow up? Well, I remember one of my children asked, Umi, if you grow up, what do you want to be? And I said, I'm grown up already. Yeah, but if you grow up, what do you want to be? I will be a teacher. Yeah, but you are a teacher now. But if you grow up, what do you want to be? I am growing up. I'm grown up. So this is one of the things that uh, even people around us kind of wonder, why do you teach? Why do you become a teacher? Why do you meet students? Why do you share knowledge? So this is something that I ask again, as I said, I ask every day. So I'm not surprised if sometimes it took us a while to actually answer this, but I think it's a very worthwhile question that we probably should ask ourselves every day. What happened if we don't teach? Like me minus teaching would be what? And once I'm like every time I have these questions, what I would think is, let me just bring myself to like years and years ago when I was kids, when I was in grade 1 primary school. I have this habit. This is, I think, the closest pictures I can get. It's totally not the kind of settings that I was when I was little, but this is the kind of similar that when I was first grade at school, at primary school. I have this habit that because my father actually bought a house behind our house, and the house just in front of this house that he turned into office, there's a lot of kids that actually running around every day, and then playing bicycles, mostly kindergarten age kids, like below 5 years old. And I'm among the few that have reached first grade, and some of my friends second grade. So I think those are among, about the age that we were in last time. And I have this ideas, rather than all this playing all this kind of game. Let's just play once in a while. Let's play teachers, and I mean, like, in Indonesia we call it uh, main guru-guruan. So how you play to become let's play role as a teacher. So I have this habit that I will always be the teacher, and I see that, wow, it is exciting to be a teacher. You give questions, because most of my the young ones is about my sister's age, which is 2 years younger than me. So it was in kindergarten school kids, and then as the oldest in that group, it feels so good, to teach 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 2 plus 1, and everybody is raising hands, and everybody is excited to answer. To feel that kind of joy for me was very fulfilling, very exciting, and I don't know how to say, but it really gives me the energy of saying that, oh, being a teacher is so cool. It's so fun, and just to feel that alone, when I met some of my sister's friend parents, and they were saying, "Oh, thank you so much for teaching for teaching one of the my sisters." I still remember up to today. I'm 43 years old, and I still remember what happened vividly. What happened when I was 7 years old, when I'm teaching all these kids, and one of the mothers said, "Thank you for teaching Alia. Now she knows how to count 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, and all those kind of things. And she knows how to read buku and all those kind of things." You feel like, wow, that is the feeling that I found after teaching. It's just like and I was 8 years old back then. I sensed that. I sensed that already. So then I learned that success. Then I learned what is success in learning. That fulfilled the sense of, okay, now I can achieve something. Now I can do something. Now I can um, uh, feel something that I don't feel yesterday. That is from the learner's perspective. From my perspective, it's so amazing to see that that is happening in one person. Imagine, and I think around back then, I think my sisters always took like around 5, 6 kids, and to have that face is just light me up. When I see the face light up, I see my face lighting up, my heart light up, my face light up, because I can feel what is success in learning. So the next question, but am I success in teaching? I have no idea. That's the last thing that I would care. That would be the last thing that I would care on that time. What matters is that I can see learning happens, and the success in learning happens. But was it a good? Was I a good teacher? I don't know, and I don't care. But that is interesting for me just to experience that. I really hope everyone, it can resonate with everyone that is teaching today, because I'm very sure you would have feel that as well. So and then I think that what I did is that I learned from how others teach. Of course, now that from that on, then I was in first grade, second grade, and of course, moving on from there, we have a lot of teachers. We see how the teachers teach, and then we learn from how others actually teach, from basically from how our teachers teach. One of the course that I remembered that I always have interesting perspective on sort of thing. One of the things that I really reflect upon in teaching is I have one course in during the primary school. I think around between first grade to third grade. I'm actually my father sent me to one school which is somewhat close to home, and there's one teacher who always teach art in these directions. That you when you art is you're taking a ruler, draw line. So basically, two triangles without the last line, the down line, and then take a coin, use a circle, draw a circle, put a yellow color, and then draw the line around give the blue color on the triangle, use the two lines as the road, and then this is the paddy field. And this is art. This is art, which is I was so initially I was puzzled, but I was excited. Okay, so now I can draw. Amazing, I can draw. But this happens like almost every classes. Again, the same thing again and again and again to the level that in because one of the reward that if you draw this if you draw the if you finish drawing, one of the reward is that you can leave early. So I look at some of my friends and I was wondering why don't they leave early, and to the level that I really want to leave early, so I prepared the pictures before I get to the class. I'm become psychic because because I know it's going to be like this drawing. So let me prepare from home. So in the class, basically I just put some colors, and within 15 minutes I leave the class already because I finished. I know it's going to be like these pictures anyway. So when I see that what is for me that that something that's supposed to be exciting, it becomes mechanical because I know this is art. This is art, and this is how we actually draw things. If I change how the mountain looks, the teachers will not be happy. So by all means, it would be better for me to prepare and then get it done, and then I can say I'm because I leave the class early, much earlier than everyone else. So it means that I'm good at this, but I don't feel that joy. I don't feel that joy of um, I can do art, and maybe on that time it doesn't really matter. So on the fourth grade, my father sort of see me, and he see that because I accomplished quite well on the first to third grade, I become complacent. I don't study much. I don't I, basically I don't study. I study at the class. I don't do homework. I do homework like morning before going to school. So and he see when he saw that I'm become complacent, he said this is not good. Maybe the school is too easy for you. Let me move you to another school. So he sent me to another primary school, and to my surprise, things that I believe I always good at become something that is terrible. So when I bring this to class, and the teacher said, "Why do you always keep drawing this? Why don't you try drawing something?" And my friend and I saw a lot of friends actually drawing flowers, drawing house, drawing cars, and I was like, "This is how I've been trained, and I always get a good marks in this." No, this is not good. You have to learn how to draw properly. You have to learn how to use color properly. On that time, I learned that learning can be scary and difficult. I went outside the comfort zone. I realized I don't enjoy learning anymore. And it is scary. It is difficult. Let alone I cannot predict because that two triangles and circle doesn't work anymore. So fast forward to the university. So that has been my junior high school. High school. I finish class, but I do I'm sorry. I went to school like everyone else, but I don't really enjoy learning. It was during one of my class in university. Imagine like after how many years that is. Um, I went one of the class, and everyone said it's just so difficult. Don't imagine to um, it will be hard to pass. Don't imagine to get a good grade. Like everyone saying that. I'll have that perceptions. It will be tough. I don't think I can pass. To pass, I really have to pull hard. And then everyone kind of like trauma with the course. But when I attended the first class, I feel something is different. It just makes sense. And how the lecturers really engage the students, really explain this very difficult concept in such interesting way, and it just makes sense. And from that sessions, I do the exercises more than what the teachers actually prescribe. Sometimes I sat in front of his office, and I remember the teaching assistant Aditya, this is one of the girl. Bring a big, huge laptop. She wants to see you. And then uh, he welcomed me. He gave more exercises. He explained, oh, this is the you can do this is the hard way, or you can also there's a shortcut of doing things, and it will save your time. Something that I feel is impossible. It's possible, and not only is possible, it's joyful. It's interesting. It's rewarding. So then I learned difficult subject doesn't mean it's difficult to learn. And just because people say it's difficult doesn't mean it will be difficult for you. And this gave me a lot of hopes. This gave me a lot of interesting perspective that all this while I've been missing on this joyful of learning because I have always stuck to the perceptions that learning is not fun, learning is difficult, learning is scary, and all those kind of things until I met the difficult course that really turned learning into such a joyful experience. So this is when I found that when you find the joy in learning, it doesn't mean that the subject is easy. On the same time, just because the subject is difficult, it doesn't mean that it's difficult to learn. So this is what I always say to my students: find a way to see the joyful, the something that is interesting for you from the course. Not all the course probably can relate to you, or you are having the same kind of experience in every course, but make sure that you have find that silver linings, the part that you can actually relate to, that anchor you to actually come to the class and give the reasons why you sit in that class. Because when you find joy, exactly what I said here, when you find joy in learning, it doesn't mean that the subject is easy, but just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible to learn. And if we learn from COVID, the same thing. I don't think anyone would find COVID or pandemic times is easy, but I think there was a lot of now I think now we are becoming more and more realized that blessing in disguise. But still, some people say, is it really blessing in disguise? And in fact, on the first month when it's happened, I don't see people are hopeful that it will be something that will become a blessing in disguise. But if you ask me then, and if you ask me now, I would always say that it is blessing in disguise. Why? Because if not, without COVID, I don't think I would be able to come up with this. So during the COVID, I was actually in charge with the e-learning portfolio. So I was the deputy director for e-learning unit under the same center that I'm in at the moment. And on that particular month when we first come up with when the government actually um, decided that we going to have lockdown, there was a lot of, I think that happens in almost in every university. People are skeptical that we can actually move forward. People are actually opt not to teach for a while, or prefer to postpone. And that has been a very interesting, if not educating debate. Okay, be that in the media or in even within the university, we do have that sessions that people just say no to teaching online. But I just throw the survey. So this is the one of the survey that I have, which is the academic staff learning readiness survey. Not everyone actually filled the survey, which is expected, but it's quite a lot of staff actually filled the survey, and it is interesting to see the kind of perceptions among the staff, um, that how adapt they are to the new mode of teaching, the possibility of new mode of teaching, and the possibility of engaging the students in different way. And on the same time, I asked the students as well, which I just realized I didn't put it here, but I asked the same questions, similar sets of questions to the students: how ready they are, how um, conducive the environment is, and all those kind of questions. And this is what I won't be able to get without COVID, for sure, because all this while we have been trying to engage the lecturers, try to see the opportunities, how certain things can actually be delivered online, and see and learn from how those materials that you have put online, learn from how the students use those materials. So we have actually a series of trainings, but again, I'm very sure everyone wouldn't be surprised that every trainings we almost have. I mean, the highest we could get is around maybe 500 people out of the 1,800 staff that we have, which is not surprise. But what is interesting is that I learned so much from this, and I learned to debunk a lot of myths that we have towards our colleagues. We always see that the senior one doesn't care. We always say that the senior one is hard to learn, but I see those kind of things happen uh, across all spectrum of age. I've met the young ones who practically say no to online teaching. On the same time, I've assisted some of the seniors who really sit down and like learn step by step, moving the mouse here and there, and how to navigate Zoom, how to navigate the learning management system, how to provide good videos, recordings, and all those kind of things. So I debunk the myth, and of course I learn from how wrong I am to actually perceive that it comes with age when it comes to learning. It just doesn't happen that way. So as I said, it is a blessing in disguise, and but on the same time, we realize that learning on the fly is the scariest thing to do, and getting something like you can imagine when you are riding an you are in the aeroplane where the pilot is practically are not familiar with the fleet, and then you are expecting to get somewhere and you feel the bumpy, and then even just to bring the take off, just to take off, the pilot having difficulties, you can imagine how do you feel, and this person is actually have your life on the aeroplane. The same thing that what is actually happening in the course. Imagine what the students feel if they are seeing the lecturers trying to navigate the course, and you don't have that confidence, you don't have that feelings that you will be able to fly the course properly, and you don't feel like you have the obligations to actually learn and improve. How you can imagine what the students would feel as well, and their life is with you, because that course will be part of their life, which probably that what the knowledge that they will need to actually do better when they are started to work in the industry, or even in other sectors of other parts of the life. So in this case, I think this is one of the things that we've learned during COVID, how scary it is to actually learn on the fly. But one thing that I learned so much from all of my colleagues, and I'm truly grateful for so many educators within IUM as well as outside. I've learned so much from everyone. Dr. Muliati, I learned so much from her as well. She probably doesn't realize that, but I observe everyone. Especially we do have MAPTA, we do have Magnetic, where all of the centers from the nations actually meet and then learn from each other. So we see how much effort and that gives assurance that people actually put effort, people actually sincerely wants to do things better. And I discussed this with my husband last night, because I don't know how to put this properly, because initially I put ability to teach doesn't mean ability to learn, and he said it's the opposite. When you're able to learn, you're able to teach. So I think, yeah, I think this is the best approach that I can, the best statement that I can get. When you're able to learn, you're able to teach. So one of the things that is required in teaching is you should be able to learn yourself. You should be able to enjoy the learning. We will not be able to give things that we don't have. So if you don't enjoy learning, you will not be able to allow the students to enjoy the learning process in your class, because you don't have that to actually give to the students. You yourself don't enjoy it. So how do we get the students enjoy the learning process? um, and another thing that also I learned from COVID is how learning is the best investment. I actually come from the line of My father, my mom, all of my siblings are businessmen, businesswomen. I'm the only one that actually goes to education sectors. But one thing that I learned, always learned since the young age from my father is when you learn, you actually invest, and the best investment you can make is on yourself. And the best investment you can make on yourself is through learning. So that's kind of stick with my mind. Learn is investment. Learn is investment. So every year I always make sure that I always have something to accomplish, whatever certification it is. Be that something that probably doesn't mean anything. So I took um, certifications in Moodle. I took certifications just to make sure that I invest in myself, because the best investment when you have learned something, it makes your life easier. If not, it will make your life meaningful. So this is what I believe, something that I learned so much from COVID as well. All those investment that I have done before COVID, it's a worthwhile investment, because I didn't realize, oh, I don't have to learn so much in navigating Zoom, because I kind of used to with that. I don't have to learn so much in building video lectures, because I get used to that. So all those kind of things really, really worthwhile. So then I realized again, learning is the best investment, because you will feel the 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 the, the joy of having it when the times comes. So yeah, so I think that would be how best I describe what I have learned from COVID. So next, how to build the right attitude. Um, Again, I'm still careful with this attitude term, because one of the things that I do in this center is that sometimes the dean or the deputy dean of academic, they send the staff who have been receiving feedback from the students or getting a complaint from the students, and they ask me to assist or to just have a chit chat, see whether you can identify the issues with the particular lectures that they sent. Um, and I can say most of those stuff, academic stuff that was sent to me or sent to just discuss things with me, they don't have any issues with um, the subject they're teaching. So they are the subject matter expert. All of us are PhD graduate. So I think I don't have the questions on the ability to master the course content. But most of the issues actually lies on the difficulty to see that when you are teaching, you have that kind of needs to see things from the different perspective, and we always look at ourselves on how we were taught. So most of the common uh, justifications why they teach the way they teach is because of that's how my lecturers teach me, and why if I can master that, why my students cannot learn the same way as I did. So all those kind of things kind of really wakes me up, and I learn to, I mean, I reflect upon myself. Have I came to the same loop where I did the wrong thing with the justifications of that um, people are doing this anyway. Uh, in psychology, I think they call it cognitive dissonant. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with it. That you justify your misbehavior by what other people does, and I think this is what is happening among some of our educators that opt not to progress. So I don't want to say it's right or wrong attitude. I think it's the perceptions that it's okay to 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 not progress, or it's okay to just do what other people do because I survive. Why should I opt in different way? But if you have a look, just before now, IUM is officially face to. We are going back to the face to face sessions, and all of the class are we have it face to face. But what is interesting here, when I asked this last semester, 2 semesters ago, when we still have the online, And when I asked these questions yesterday, 2 days ago, sorry, on Tuesday, um, to uh, to all of the students, I still have this kind of habit that I always start with Mentimeter, and I ask them what are the things that actually important for you in the learning process. And to my surprise, in both semester, during COVID and after COVID, the same thing. They believe that what matters in learning is their internal motivations. It has to come from within. It has to come from themselves that I need to learn this. And they know that. Our students know that. They don't use the justifications. I need to learn this. I hardly see. In fact, I hardly see anyone that actually say they took the learning process because of other methods, or for example the X factors. I thought now that we have a lot of uh, the generations gap and whatnot, probably the X factors would be the number one. But apparently, it's very, very predictable. The students feel that what matters in learning is the internal motivations. Of course, the second one, before during the pandemic, they feel that what matters next is the support from the lecturers, and then support from family, conducive environment. But this semester, what is interesting, the second one is actually support from family, conducive environment, and support from my lecturer. So I make jokes with them. It is interesting. During the pandemic, I'm number two. Now, after the pandemic, I'm number four. So, but anyway, doesn't. But yeah, so that is the reality. Things change, things evolve. So if we believe that everything has to happen in the same way, I think we haven't seen, or maybe we haven't asked the right questions to actually give meanings to ourselves. Why we have to learn and progress ourselves before we ask others to do it. And another thing that I learned so much from my students, we always have these perceptions that class have to be enjoyable. It has to be fun, and fun means like everyone's has to be like having fun. I don't know how to put it, but I ask every class every semester almost the same. That's why I put it. And the score is more or less the same, and it's always the feelings that what they've learned is useful. The sense of that it relates to me. It's for me. The knowledge is for me. That what they see is exciting, and that's the same thing with us. If you want to improve, perhaps you pick something that useful for you, something that gets you from 2 step to 5 step to 10 step to get you moving. And the second one is relevant to my life. Fun is number three. To my surprise, grade is number four. And we always say this in the meeting, thinking that number one, what matters for them is just the grade. No. Reality check. No. Grade is the least, the last thing they could be worried for. What matters is that they want to make sure that the knowledge that they actually learn is useful. And I'm very sure this is something that perhaps we should again ask and then learn from our students, because they know what they need, they know what they have, they know how to progress as well. So in other words, that always, if we reflect upon what happened just now, so there's always reason to not progress. And you can, if you're running out of reasons, I think practically we are not alive, because when we are still breathing, we will always find reasons to not progress. But on the same time, I think we should also ask ourselves how reasonable it is when we opt not to progress, when we want to use the same kind of techniques that my teachers use this. Because I remember one of the sessions with one of the staff that was sent to my center is he said, um, why should I change the way I teach when I know uh, it works? So exactly as what I said earlier, it works for me. My teacher did this. My teacher come to the class, open the slide, talk, 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 and then done. I'll see you next class. The next class comes, do the same thing, and at the end of the semester exam, what's wrong with that? And I was asking, if you were allowed to actually change anything from your from how you learn, would you prefer to attend different kind of class? And he said yes, exactly. So why do we have to use the same technique that we know it doesn't work and just use it for the sake of that I was treated this way, so I should be able to treat everyone else the same? Then I don't think it is reasonable to not progress, because I'm worried that kind of loop will not get anyone anywhere. And worst of all, the students that now have options to actually learn from something else, from somewhere else, they would actually learn, and it was without supervision. And that what worries me. If they actually misunderstood things, and this will affect how they do things, especially when the things that they do is actually affect others, I think we would very much accountable for that as well. So this I think things that I usually ask my colleagues how reasonable it is to not when we opt not to progress. And one of the things that inspires me, I'm not sure whether you have seen this early in 2000, maybe 2010, when I first joined IUM, around 2010, 2011, when I first joined IUM, I encountered this program where there's one teachers. Sorry, I have to take the examples from Indonesia. I'm very sure we do have a lot of these kind of people in Malaysia that very sincere, very wholehearted, teach and educate the communities. But what inspires about her is that she is in the conditions that I think she could make a lot of reasons to not progress. Okay, so let me, if I can share just short videos on this. Is the audio, can anyone hear the audio?
Hari para siswa SD Negeri Ciberem, Sumedang, Jawa Barat pulang sekolah. Tidak langsung pulang ke rumah, tapi mampir ke sebuah rumah sederhana.
Oops, sorry.
Jawa Barat pulang sekolah.
Sorry.
Mereka datang untuk menemui seseorang yang mereka panggil AEN. Para siswa membantu EN makan, minum, dan sholat. Setelah itu, semua bersiap mengikuti pelajaran. Tubuh EN boleh dikata lumpuh total. Mata dan mulutnya bisa bergerak.
Saya rheumatoid arthritis, kalau istilah kedokteran, tapi sendi, sakit sekujur tubuh. Posisinya kalau misalnya bergeser 1 cm dari tempat semula, sakitnya bukan main. Makassar.
Hampir 30 tahun EN berada dalam kondisi ini. Dan selama itu pula, EN membaktikan hidupnya untuk mendidik anak-anak.
Dari Natal. Matematika, bahasa Indonesia, karena kalau belajar di sini tuh kalau udah capek bisa bercanda dulu, bermain dulu, atau ya mau beristirahat.
EN tidak memungut bayaran. Meski dirinya sendiri miskin, namun EN justru sering menyumbang anak-anak untuk keperluan membeli buku.
Sampai saat ini saya tidak pernah memungut bayaran dari mereka. Saya ikhlas melakukannya karena saya ingin berempati, saya ingin punya rasa peduli, saya ingin berbagi dengan mereka meskipun sebatas kemampuan saya.
Di mata banyak orang, jalan hidup EN Sukaisi sungguh berat. 28 tahun lalu, EN lulus sekolah pendidikan guru dan D3 IKI Bandung jurusan bimbingan dan konseling. Tiba-tiba saja kelumpuhan menyerang membuatnya gagal menjadi guru dan pegawai negeri. EN hanya bisa berbaring di tempat tidur di kamarnya yang berukuran 2 kali 3 meter. Sempat terpuruk, bahkan divonis hanya bisa hidup seminggu lagi. Jiwa EN rupanya tak terkalahkan. EN memutuskan mengisi hidupnya sesuai cita-citanya dengan menjadi guru untuk anak-anak di sekitar tempat tinggalnya. Bagi EN, kondisi tubuh dan fasilitas tidak boleh jadi penghalang.
Saya ingin hidup saya ini bermanfaat buat sesama.
Okay, so I think if I can stop here, it's easy to find the documentary about the person. Unfortunately, the person have passed away 2014, but I she's one of, I would say, my hero in keeping me moving forward, making sure that what I do is actually beneficial and impactful. And of course, it doesn't come with rosy life, rosy road. It's always bumpy. You have to stand up, fall down, you stand up again. But I don't think I could find any reason not to progress, because if someone has the reason, she has all the reason, but she progressed. Okay. Another thing that I learned when I want to progress is that from the humanitarian missions that I do few years ago and a few years before that, is how education is supposed to be. The true meanings of education is when it actually gives hope, when it actually builds hope, especially in the times when hope is just very expensive, very scarce, very it's just very rare. And of course, I think, again, if we aim for reasons, they would also have reasons not to have hope. But recently, not really, before the COVID, around 2018, I visited the area where after the earthquake in Lombok, and one of the school practically flooded with the grounds because it was shaken really hard by the second earthquake, especially on the second earthquake, practically everything flat. And they don't have any class, they don't have any table, but still, every morning I'm so amazed with how these kids actually walk to the school, sort of school, just to get some knowledge, although it may not be something that other students in different school would learn. But something that I learned, what matters in every education is hope. And this is what I learned from hope. Okay, so again, as you can see, what kind of class would, what kind of teaching would happen in this is so not ideal, but learning happens. Students feel empowered. Students feel hopeful that they can actually learn something. So this is what gives energy that whatever happens, whatever how bad the situation is, how bad the facility is, if you believe that you can actually teach, learning can happen. And the students will be enjoyable. As you can see in here, none of them actually crying because they have to walk 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers away from home using the slippers. Some of them they don't have shoes because the house flat with the ground. They couldn't find anything that is useful, so they have to use whatever they have. But still, they come to the school because they want to learn. So this gave me a perspective. This is what education is. So how do we move forward? Um, I read one book which is I'm very interested with this quote from Seth. He said that the art of moving forward lies in the understanding of what to leave behind. We have been very comfortable. We are sitting in the office, which is very much very comfortable. We have all the access to all the resources that comfortably accessible. And what we need is just we need to leave something behind, and that something behind maybe the feelings of that we are so comfortable in that, we are so used to with that, we are romanticizing by what happened before COVID or things like that. But if you need to move forward, all those will become a baggage, and it's harder to move forward if you keep bringing that with you. So let's leave all those, because to progress, we need a lighter burden. And one of the lighter burden is to release all those perceptions, negativity that things will actually block us from progressing. This is one of the things that I shared earlier in the semester, just to make sure anyone take a rest before the semester start. On the same time, rest as what I have here. So I encourage my colleagues to actually reflect whether our teaching style in the previous semester is actually effective. Is there anything that we need to improve in the upcoming semester? And then I think we should also evaluate which of our teaching materials was effective. Now that everything is online, we can actually analyze which of the resources that we have is more engaging, because we can see, especially if you are using LMS, you can actually see the durations of how long the students actually watch the videos. And you will be able to see how many of the students actually read the notes, things like that. So we can actually see which of the resources is effective and whatnot. And have we engaged the students well in the class? Okay, so I think we can sort of evaluate our approach. On the same time, probably we can strategize. People keep saying it's so burdening to actually look at things again. 14 weeks, there's a lot of topics. I don't think it would be possible for me to look all the topics again. Then strategize which topic that we have any difficulty to teach. Not all, I'm very sure not all topics have the same difficulty. So maybe we should focus on the topics that we have difficulty to teach first. And how can we improve the teaching materials? Again, usually what from the things that I learned from what my students shared is that some assessment is actually can be good platforms to sort of help them to learn things. So I believe in the assessment for learning because it works. It works, especially if you strategize in such a way that they can get sort of feedback on in what kind of way they can improve the understanding of the course. And also, what supports do I need to improve my teaching skills? We are in the network. We are network within the campus, and we also have a network with other colleagues in the different universities. So maybe it is something that we can actually strategize. Maybe I should get maybe I should reach out to my colleague in different university that is really good with, for example, gamifications. And I sometimes I contacted a few colleagues from a different university. Just can you give me like 1 hour or half an hour of your time? I really want to learn about this. And I'm so glad that we have this network, and I'm so glad that we have a good, sincere colleagues that actually love to share and love to help each other. And the last one, tests. I think it's one of the things that I really encourage is to actually have a look on those course materials, see whether those activities are still working. Yes, we have it last semester, but does it still work this semester and so on? And I can conclude with Dr. Muliati, what she has in the slide, that yes, when I read the synopsis, I feel really touched with the synopsis that she has, as well as the glade. I think it is about time that we adopt this approach, that we have to approach the teaching in gratifying, with love, authentic, engaging, and dynamic. And I don't think we are running out of inspirations in this world on how to implement this in our life. It's just that probably we just need to spend that extra 5 minutes with the click of a button and find the people that really can change us. So, wallahu alam, thank you so much. And I know there's a lot of things that I have to improve, and I'm looking forward to your suggestions, to your feedback on how I can improve myself as well. So, thank you so much. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you so much, Prof. Mira, for the sharing, for the very fruitful sharing. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, is there any question from the floor? That is very engaging, it's very fruitful. I love the word glade, actually, gratifying, love. All right, and continues. All right, so most of academics, Prof, now we are having we just actually started our semester, a new semester. Okay, so again, many students, especially mine, I would like to share my experience. Most of my students ask me, Dr. Muliati, can we have our class online? And I was like, hey, you don't want to see me face to face? No, they are used to it, Prof. They are used to it. It seems like they don't want to see me in front of them. They love to see me on the screen instead of me face to face. Then I would say, no, you have to see me. You have to feel the presence of your lecturers in front of you. You know, especially like what you are doing, Prof, you stand up during the presentation, which is, oh my God, I'm so touched. I like myself, and I believe that most of the academic are not like sitting back, relaxing in their room. But somehow, thank you so much, Prof, for being with us today. Is there any question from the floor again?
Okay, I'm sorry. I just realized that you were not able to listen to the audio in the video. Is it? I will share the link, and probably you can have a look at it later.
All right. Okay, so maybe you can share the link
Sure,
in
I
the
will.
chat box, then everyone can listen to it.
Sure.
Right. So any question? Any more question? Yeah, talking about love, Prof. So how IUM, Prof, the student, are they actually coming back to the university, face
Yeah.
online, face to
They,
face?
yeah. They came back, and first class I asked the same thing. Um, like it's surreal. I actually have my class hybrid last semester, so I actually asked them if you would like to come and see me in the class. I'll be more than happy to see everyone. And to my surprise, all of the students that are actually on campus, they actually come to the class. We were thinking, I don't think they would want to come. I even me, I was thinking, I don't think they would want to come. But the class, we have around 15, 5 still overseas. So those 15, mostly around 13 to, I don't remember we have full 15, but around 10 to 13 people always showed up to the class. And I was wondering, isn't it comfortable that you can actually just attend the class from your room and then close the camera and laying down on the on the bed? And they said it's different. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't. I think I do have those kind of students that, as what you said, they would opt for online. But to my surprise, majority actually put an effort to come and sit down with me. We talk. I literally have fun meeting them. And on Tuesday, the same thing. I was asking, would we still want to have it online? They said no, enough online. So yeah, I'm excited.
I believe that most of us here in UTeM and all over the world are very excited to actually to see their student face to face then, Prof. All right, Prof, we have one question from our friends here. How do we differentiate between student enjoying the class and instead of understanding the subject? Maybe they enjoy the subject, but they don't really understand maybe they enjoy due to the environment, due to I would say the serenity, but they don't really understand the topic. So how do we differentiate this, Prof? Over to you, Prof.
Right. Okay. So one thing that I always ask my colleague as well as ask myself every semester is that when we teach the course, do we know what is success for them? And in fact, we have this trainings for lecturers who have just joined university and it's part of the compulsory training. And in every compulsory training, I would ask the same thing. Um, when you teach, do you know what is success for them? What is success in teaching? What is success in learning? Because we always think that success in learning means that they will be able to understand, they will be able to get a good grade. That's what we have been brainwashed, actually, right? But I realized when I did my undergrad, that's not how one of the lecturers that I said earlier really resonates with me. He didn't say that you have to get a good grades, you have to be good in this course for you to be success. No, the first thing that he did is that, okay, guys, have fun. We're going to really have fun today, and we're going to have a look all the things that will make everyone throw up, which is the mathematical notations. Everybody like, with the math and all this relational algebra. But how he bring that narratives like, don't worry, I'm here. I'll be with you. So yes, not everyone were able to get the good grades, and those people that actually give me the bad perceptions that it is just bad, really hard course, and that's because of they miss the class. I just realized that afterward they're actually missing a lot of classes, so they don't get that vibes from the lecturers that it is okay to not have a good grades as long as you're able to learn. And learning doesn't mean that you have to get learning doesn't mean that you have a good grades. Learning means that it change you. It change how you think. It enables you to do something that you were not able to do it before. But how good we are in doing things, that's a different thing because we learn in different way. So I think that is one of the things. Having fun is one of the thing that important as I shared with you just now from our students. Yes, having fun is important, but what is important, what is success from them? Apparently they want to see it something that is useful, and they believe in that. uh, those answers come from the students, means that they believe in that, they know that what is important is it is useful for me. So it's okay to see students that really having fun, but when you see the grade seriously, like, couldn't you do any better? That's probably the thing that they can achieve because, again, as I said, we learn in different way. They having fun, that gives them the reasons to come to the class. But with that alone, I'm very sure maybe once they have graduated, once they finish the course, or maybe once they've graduated from the university, when they stumbled upon things that which is similar to what you have taught in the class, they see they have the new perspective to actually, if I nailed it in my course, I would have get A. So that probably come later, which is fine. I don't see that as one of the issues. Allahu alam.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Prof, for enlightening the issues. All right. So I believe that each and every one of us we have gained so much today, ladies and gentlemen, my dear academics friend. All right. So is there any more question from the floor or from the screen? From the floor. From the screen. All right. I believe not. We do not have any question. All
I
right.
think
So I believe. Yeah.
there is one question from from Prof. Harris.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right.
So
The
how do
question.
we?
Okay. Let.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prof. Over.
All right. Thank you. So how do we balance between telling students to have fun learning and requests from management for our students to get good grade? Okay. Wow, this is tough. Um, I okay. I think it is. I put it this way. Whatever grades you give, we are accountable, right? We are accountable if one semester we have a lot of A's, and we are accountable when some semester we have a lot of low grades. Um, as much as the management probably would want or put in indicators that success in teaching would be grades, I think a lot more. I'm very sure wholeheartedly there's so many people in the university that doesn't buy to those kind of ideas that it has to be the equivalent of you able to teach would be just reflected from how many get a good grades in the course, because the students reflections would be very much useful for the university to actually see the quality of teaching in the class, the uh, the reflections from the lecturers itself, how the course progress. You get a lot of A's in the one course, but once they go to the next course, they flunk because they realize they didn't learn things that they're supposed to learn that will not be good from the management perspective as well. So I think what would be great is to always reflect upon ourselves and be accountable to with every grades that we put on the paper. If those numbers doesn't really check in with the what the management wants, then probably you can get some feedback in what way these grades can be improved, because using the strategy that you are improving your strategy, you are making sure that the delivery is top quality, you are engaging the students, but somehow we get some group of the students which is having difficulties to actually adapt with the course. So maybe we should look at the historical reasons why the students actually having difficulty with the course. Maybe they would not actually come from the groups that they are supposed to be in the specializations or things like that, because there's many reasons. We cannot say every semester is the same. And I said the same thing to my students. I want you to learn in the class, but if you fail the course, I want you to make sure that you don't fail in learning. Just because you fail the course doesn't mean you are fail in learning. Why? Because the next semester, when you took the course again, I will make sure that you will learn things. It will not be just repeating things that what you have seen in the last semester. That's why every semester it will be a different experience, different case, different kind of discussions, because I don't want them to feel that it becomes mechanical. When it is become mechanical, then that grades the expectations from the management that it has to be certain numbers, then that makes sense. But if we believe teaching is not mechanical, teaching is meaningful undertakings, it is an art, if I can put it that way, then those kind of expectations will not be meaningful, will not be right, because we have full responsibilities on how the process actually works and what would be the output like, and we are accountable. And as I said, I put this to top management as well. I think we have to make sure that the educators is accountable with process and output. Process and output, not only just the output. Grade is just the output, but process, what is how the teaching actually works in the class. I think that would be my perspective, Wallahu alam. But if it's not right, please enlighten me. So maybe I have missed on some of the things which I should have learned. Okay, Wallahu alam. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Prof. So yeah, I love the word process. Along the most important here, we give the student input. That along the process, it's the most important. I think the element in teaching and learning. So the output is another thing. It's about grade, but the process itself is remarkable. This is where actually we should instill, or we should actually include all the grade, all the joy here, because yeah, to have A's is absolutely great for the student, but somehow the insania, the feelings of happiness, the feeling of feel blessed to have the teacher in front of them is something that what I call joy, actually, bro. Right. So I do believe that all our academic here do feel the same thing. All right. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, again, give a big applause to our speaker today. Thank you so much, Prof. Mira. So thank you. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I really need your actually. I request one thing. Could we actually switch on our cameras so we can have a photo session? I believe that most of you are preparing for our class today and maybe tomorrow. All right. All right. So this is the link given by Prof. All right. So it's on the YouTube. All right. All right. So here we are, Prof. Faces of UTeM. All right. So may I recall we have PM Dr. Zawiya, we have Dr. Rizawati, we have Dr. Khadijah, we have Haris, we have Dr. Razali, Dr. Rahifa. There's a lot more to come afterward. All right. So can all of us switch on our camera? Okay. All right. So even we can see one of our friend here, Dr. Faiz. I think he's waiting for his class afterward, but still he is actually willing to join us today. Thank you so much from CAES. Thank you so much, Dr. Faiz.
Thank you so much.
Ya, kita boleh nampak background dekat belakang tu macam nak masuk ke kelas, Prof. We do appreciate that. Alright.
You are inspiring. You are inspiring. Amazing. So may Allah bless all of you, and may Allah give you a good heart to teach your students and touch them with the heart as well. So you are inspiring. Thank you so much.